Welcome to BAM, the show conquering sameness, the SEO Shadowlands. Brands enter chasing visibility, desperate to rank, to drive traffic that converts into revenue, but inside, metrics glow like false stars and direction collapses. Right now, a brand is lost inside, standing at the edge of a trap they can't see. For this rescue, I brought in someone who knows this. By day, he's Seth Price, growth operator and search strategist. But when the distress signal sounds, he becomes the Search Shark.
To mess with this city.
Bam!
Bam! Bam! I'm Batman, conquering sameness one platform at a time.
Bam. Two forces are waiting for us today. The Plateau Warden, guarding flat ground where brands wander in circles, never finding their way out. And the KPI Sirens, leading brands towards the edge where one step means falling into the void. Search Shark knows them both. The cry for help grows louder. We move now or we lose them. This is where the rescue begins. We follow the cry through the dark, and we find them. The brands stumble forward, desperate. They say, "We're ranking. Traffic is up, but the phone isn't ringing. What's wrong?" The Plateau Warden looms behind them. Their dashboard glows green. They stare at it, smile, but the phone stays silent. They don't notice the Warden has them. Search Shark pulls out the compass. Search Shark, they rank, but they vanish from local results and AI answers. What is the Warden hiding from them?
So often, we see numbers, and numbers as a law firm owner don't mean a lot if the phone isn't ringing with monetizable traffic. So the job of a great SEO and a great SEO superhero is to make sure that all of these different goals are aligned. It is one thing to raise search and SEO in the traditional sense, content links and the Google algorithm. But unless you add to that the local component, you will not be visible for many B2C lawyers out there that are competing in their local geography. The job of a great SEO is to make sure that the organic work that you've done so much labor and put so many resources into gets to intermix with the local algorithm, with the result being found in the Google Map Pack or 3-pack. Very expensive and very valuable real estate. And what's great is that AI, particularly Gemini, and more ChatGPT, is pulling its results from that very same real estate. So that when done right, the organic layered into local is actually finding great success in the language models and the ChatGPT and Gemini results.
Search Shark speaks. The brand listens. The compass steadies. They see what they were blind to. The Plateau Warden's grip breaks, and we move forward into the Shadowlands. The brand moves with us now, but the terrain ahead is dark, unstable. The SEO Shadowlands hide traps everywhere. Vanity metrics that glow like false exits. AI systems that erase brands without warning. Search patterns that shift beneath your feet. One wrong step, and you're lost again. But Search Shark holds the compass steady. Search Shark, when someone searches 4 words, multiple needs hidden underneath, what are they actually hunting for? And what local signals actually drive calls versus just drives traffic?
When you answer somebody's question or solve their problem, you will make money in life. Google knows this, and they are trying to put the most relevant answers to a query. When it comes to something that has a monetizable end, like finding a lawyer, Google wants to find people that can solve the problem. One of the reasons that spam works so well in law firm names is that Google is looking for every indication that you will solve their problem. So that if you have the city and lawyer and type of law in a name, they are pretty confident that this is going to solve the person's problem. And if that happens, they are more likely to come back to Google or to whatever platform it is to search again. And that's their business model, which is being your destination when in need, particularly for something that's monetizable to them.
Surfshark teaches them to read intent, not keywords. The brand adjusts their path, starts answering what searchers actually need, and the terrain becomes clearer as we move deeper into the Shadowlands. AI systems are scanning ahead, deciding who to cite, who to trust, who to erase. The brand is visible, but will they be referenced? Surfshark stops. Surfshark, ChatGPT cites some brands and answers and skips most. What's the difference?
I think there's a distinction at the moment between Gemini and ChatGPT. At the moment, Gemini is very aligned with the Google algorithm. Not surprising, it comes from Google and it's an extension of Google. So that the best practices that we have seen with search, from schema markup to all of the other pieces and fundamentals of SEO, high quality content, are finding its way into the Gemini answers. ChatGPT, not as closely aligned with Google, still pulls much from the traditional Google answers. Being in the 3-pack organically with Google very often finds your way into ChatGPT. But ChatGPT seems very focused on awards and different accolades, which seem less featured in the Gemini answers. That is why we love people to dust off their bios and make sure bios are written in a way that may not have been as important years ago, but now showing people how many years you've won different awards like super lawyers and best lawyers, and putting those things out that some lawyers might have poo-pooed and say, oh, this program's pay to play or that program's pay to play. If the language models are looking at those as trusted sources, even things like Avo and Justia that were interesting in search, but not first and foremost. The language models are looking for justification to show you first, and those areas that can demonstrate authority and accolades seem to be paramount at the moment.
So I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gemini aligns with Google, and GPT aligns with authority and or perceived authority and the awards that came along with those. So finally, all these years of paying super lawyers might be paying off for these attorneys, because it's more than just something to put on their site. It's actually something that could benefit them. Am I hearing that correctly?
Correct. All of a sudden, things that we never cared about are there. I think you need to be careful in that at the moment, this is only a small percentage of overall search. As a business owner, if I'm in the ChatGPT results, I may be high-fiving and pleased with my SEO company. However, at the end of the day, you're worried about overall revenue, and that's where traditional search is still carrying the day. I want a future-proof. I want to make sure we're there. I'd love to have both, and there's no reason you can't have both. But know that right now, one is the shiny object, slowly but surely becoming more than that. But at the moment, make sure you don't forget about the fundamentals while layering these different new language model optimizations on top of that.
I've heard you reference something that you and I would probably be very familiar with, but I don't know that we've quite explained it for those who are listening. You keep referencing the 3-pack. What is the 3-pack? What are these three things that we should be focusing on to do well in, I believe, Gemini, you said?
Well, the 3-pack or the map pack is in search results. If you're searching on Google, historically, there were ads at the top, and then there was a map of the area with maybe 3 search results and organic below it. The whole search result has been mixed up. We have Gemini at the top, and there's some paid ads here and some paid ads in the map pack. But the map pack area, the real estate next to a map where there are 1, 2, and 3 listings showing who are the close by near me answers, is real estate that converts exceptionally well for B2C lawyers. And for any B2C lawyer who's a client of ours, we know they know where that map pack is, because that is the area we want them in, and it's the area that is going to convert to cases. But one of those things that gets you there, for example, reviews. We could do an entire podcast on reviews, and if there is a superpower that lawyers need to harness, it is the ability to take their extended world and turn it into touch points that turn into reviews that used to be just used as social proof, but now are actually ranking factors along with a lot of other things to put you in that map pack, which then brings you that AI real estate. And we even see AI results quoting from reviews. So just like you'd want to see clips of a podcast throughout a website, making sure you have clips of your reviews throughout your website so that the AI searches can pull that information and bring that up and show that to your future adoring fans.
Search shows us what the AI systems look for. The brand builds it. The compass shifts, pointing toward the ridgeline. In the distance, a song. Promising. Seductive. The brand's eyes turns toward it. We hear them before we see them rising along the ridgeline. The KPI Sirens. Luminous. Woven from dashboards and climbing graphics. They don't shout numbers. They sing recognition. You're growing. You're gaining visibility. You're almost there. Their harmonies swell. Top 3 ranking. Impressions doubling. Traffic climbing. The brand stops. Listens. The compass trembles. Search Shark sees what the brand doesn't. The sirens stand at the edge, seeing toward the void. One more step, and they fall. Search Shark, the sirens sing loudest around one metric. What is the number or the metric that leads brands off the edge?
If there's one thing you take away from this, that metrics don't mean anything if the phone isn't ringing with monetizable traffic. The metrics can show you you're moving in the right direction, it can show progress, but it has to be tied to reality. At the end of the day, this is not a hobby, but a business, and we need to make sure that the eyeballs are being seen in a place at the time that they're needed to convert to those compensable cases. And anything else is a distraction. We want to make sure we're getting value and the building blocks are being built. Rome wasn't built in a day. Search optimization takes time and resources. So it's valuable to know that things are moving in the right direction. At the same time, you need to get to the promised land in order to make it a business.
Search Shark stops. The brand stops. They turn away from the song. The sirens fade. And ahead, through the dark, a light breaks through. The way out. We race toward it. The land flattens, stable, predictable, comfortable, and from the stillness, a presence emerges. The Plateau Warden, still massive, watching. Traffic holds. Leads convert. Performance feels good. Search pattern shifts slightly. A competitor sharpens their structure. An AI summary features someone else. Conversion dips 2 points. Not alarming, just enough to ignore. The needle doesn't spin. It drifts. Comfort. The change is so gradual, operators don't feel it happening. But 6 months later, the conversion rate has dropped 12%. A year later, the competitor who keeps refining owns the top 3 positions, and 2 years later, the operator wonders why the phone stopped reading. What are the early signs that signal drift before the ground is actually giving way? How do we know that we're going backwards in our SEO instead of growing and going forward?
The path to success is laid with building blocks. First, organic SEO, then local search results, combined with accolades, will put you in a position to be seen at the moment of impact. Impact meaning the moment that's monetizable when somebody needs your services. All of those pieces build together to put you in that position. Doing some without the others likely will not give you the results that you want and put you where you need to be. But that when taken together with organic SEO, combined with a local strategy, combined with an eye to the AI algorithms, those together deliver maximum results.
Search Shark speaks. The illusion has shattered. The brand sees what the numbers hid, turns back toward the light, runs. The KPI Sirens scream. Their songs break apart. The brand crosses through, out of the SEO Shadowlands, into the light, where the phone rings, where leads convert, where search finally works. But the SEO Shadowlands don't disappear. New brands will enter. The KPI Sirens will sing. The Plateau Warden will wait, but if you carry a compass and you're disciplined enough to use it, you won't wander long. You won't fall off the edge. You'll navigate through. I'm Bam Man, and this is BAM, the show conquering sameness, one platform at a time.
BAM! BAM!